Am I on the hot seat today?
Well, good to see you, Neil.
Yes.
I want to ask you something. You've been married, I've been married, lots of people have been married. When you have a marriage and okay, things don't work out, you get divorced. Is it okay for your ex-partner to share with the world about some of your crappy habits? Is it okay to let everybody out there uh know about stuff that only you as a couple shared? What do
No.
you think as a man?
No, it's not fair. And unless you're doing the same thing. And what
No, no. You can't do the same thing.
no,
No,
if you
eye
were
for an
doing the
eye.
same thing, it's okay for that person. Whoever started
No,
it first, go ahead.
no, no. That's the code of Hammurabi, if you remember your history. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
Yeah.
No, we're supposed to be more civilized than that. Okay, here's the story. Haley Bailey, crazy name. Uh, she talked about her ex, Matt Khalil, that they had broken up over one thing. They were married. They broke up over one thing, the size of his member. Now, this time, as opposed to what some woman said about Diddy being, a Tootsie Roll, um, this time she said it was like trying to have sex with three Coke cans piled on top of each other. So he was enormously hung. And she runs out and tells the world, oh, he's a wonderful guy. He's terrific. And she thought that would save her. Oh, he's a terrific guy. I love him. I loved him. We had great times. And except for one thing, we couldn't have sex because he had a tremendous member. He went ahead and sued her. He didn't want his private life splattered all over and you know what? I don't blame him. I don't think it's right when a couple has things that they share for an ex part of the couple to go blabbing all over the internet. I think it's horrible. I personally think it's horrible. Now, yeah, in this world, bigger boobs, bigger members, bigger is people think is better. But this is private stuff. She fired back at him and she said she's really hurt that he would sue her for such a thing. What is your take, Mr. Haley, as a man?
Now, this is where ultimately what secrets are kept between a married couple if they break up should never be aired out, or that's defamation of character. And he felt embarrassed to hear this information, and we don't know why. Ultimately, there has to be more to the story than just that's the reason she broke up with him.
Apparently not.
Well, see, I would say apparently he's an NFL player. And I would like to
Oh,
do
you
some
know your guys.
then he was an offensive lineman. He wasn't the most attractive, like she wasn't dating Tom Brady. Okay. And this could have been a money grab for her. And this is her excuse.
Oh, so you're looking at hidden agendas.
Yeah.
I,
And I
I, I,
think
I don't know.
underliningly, he knows that. And
But
he doesn't like anything being brought up because then when he's out dating, he has to bring up that and say that's not the
he's
real
married now.
reason. Oh, he's married now. Well,
He's
maybe his
married.
wife's asking questions. Well, that's not what you told me.
Well,
And that could be a problem too. Here's the thing that happens, and women do this, is if you're broken up from a relationship, women think it should take a long time before a guy dates. Guys don't act like that. Most guys are like,
no,
I'm jumping full in again. And
right.
that's who I am too. But if you give too much of your dirty laundry of what happened, they say you got to go through this and deal with it. What if he lied? What if he said, I broke up with her? Or what if he said certain things to his wife that had nothing to do with it? And then this comes out and say, you told me the reason you guys broke up is because you broke up with her. We
So it
don't
doesn't,
know that
but,
story.
but Neil, does it matter who broke up with who?
Sometimes with people, think about it when if he's a professional athlete making millions and millions of dollars, we don't know how much, and he was with a supermodel before and his next wife, he could be saying certain things.
Oh,
It's just, I think there's more to this because
but
you
wait, wait,
look
wait.
at, go ahead.
Hang on. What if his member was as tiny as P. Diddy's supposedly is? Would he have been offended also? I think he would have been more offended.
More.
These guys,
So I think that he didn't want. I think a lot of offensive linemen or a defensive lineman. He's a big guy. I know it's an offensive lineman or defensive lineman that are a little overweight, are very self conscious about things. They're not the ones to land the supermodel. So I feel by him even saying, "Oh, it's big. Oh, it's great, fantastic,"
well,
and,
that's in
and
our
that's why the
culture.
supermodel broke up. He probably wants his private life to be private. This is where his attorney, his PR rep, needs to say, "This is not the only reason he's suing. If this is the only reason he's suing, then he doesn't." It's just like Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson doesn't
Oh,
like people talking up his
he would,
member.
right. Now, Pete Davidson said he was offended that Ariana Grande had done the same exact thing, that she bragged about the size of his member. And he said he was embarrassed and horrified that she would do such a thing. Now, the point she said, litigation is a harrowing and emotionally draining experience, and I am heartbroken that he is choosing to subject us and our families to this ordeal. Now, here's where I go crazy because this is now her playing the victim. I think this is mean girl behavior. What goes on in the privacy of some couple, their bedroom, their kitchen, their bathroom, it's none of our business. And everybody throws information out there on the internet, and it's damning. It's very often damning. Why are we so interested in the sex lives of all these different people? What has happened to our culture that we have to hang out to dry all
the
this
the
dirty
reason
laundry?
the reason is it's the only thing that gets pushed out on the internet and social media is stuff that is controversial. That's it. If you have something positive to put
Real
on the internet, it doesn't
terrible.
do anything.
It is,
And
but
then and TikTok, Instagram, I'll say TikTok is the worst. That looks for the most controversial, fighting, angry, aggressive type of content is pushed out further than things that are okay. And the reason is it's where it's pushed out. So the algorithm chooses to push things out the way they push things out. The social dilemma taught that fact. So this is what AI does too. AI tries to hook you by not giving you the right answers, so you stay on and you stay on the platform longer. So the goal of everyone is to get them upset, angry, and want to come back for more.
well, that's a sickness that is in our culture that cannot continue. We're angry and we want more,
Yeah,
more
but
anger,
see, and then we
more
trust the Chinese
hostility.
app. We trust the Chinese app and TikTok that hopefully spot by the U.S. I've not really
Yeah,
heard if,
I
but
haven't heard it.
I don't think it's been transferred yet.
I don't think so.
I don't think they
We
made it.
wouldn't know. We
We would
wouldn't
have
know.
known. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, they just like when they started have an addiction facet to keep you on the platform as much as possible. People spend 14, 15, 16 hours. Some nights they start scrolling and they don't go to sleep.
All right,
This is not
Neil,
being controlled. Go ahead.
Neil, you are a master of all of this media stuff on the internet. You can do things, you can make our computers sing if you want to. Now, that did not come quickly. You
No.
have been studying this, you have been exploring this, you have gone above and beyond what the normal person does to learn this. You weren't born with all this information.
No,
Now, I am saying that the people who are on for 16 hours are not doing anything to enhance their knowledge
no,
base
I don't like scrolling at all. And when I do scroll, it has to be for a purpose. And if I'm scrolling for a
for
purpose,
a
I'm
purpose.
scrolling past things that are not worth it to me.
That are,
And I look back and I say, how much time did I waste in my day? I really don't waste much. But if I do waste time, it better be productive time. And I sometimes contemplate, should I even go on Facebook? But then I said, there are good things about Facebook. And I have to keep the good things going and keep connections and
yeah,
maybe build
but my
relationships. But go ahead.
But my point is that these younger people, especially, or maybe the retired people as well, but people who don't have jobs, don't have goals, have nothing to do all day but sit and scroll on the internet, they're not doing anything to advance themselves. And so all of this smut gets into our being, and that's all we see, because if that's all we're exposed to, we see everything through the eyes of smut and anger and hostility. What woman in her right mind thinks that it's okay to share the dimensions of her husband's member in public with everybody to see and comment on? I think it's disgusting. I think it's mean girl behavior. And she is acting like a victim now. Oh, why would he do this to her?
Because she's a nobody model, supermodel who wanted to gain attention and had their publicist try to get another thing on the page, and it came
Okay,
back and
well,
backfired on her.
no matter, you're talking about her self-esteem. I don't know this woman. I don't know her self-esteem. I think the act of gabbing about things that were once supposed to be sacrosanct is a disgusting behavioral aspect of anybody out there, whether it's male or female. And I had this happen to me in a peculiar way. Um, I divorced my ex-husband. I wanted to divorce my ex-husband. And I met his friend at the supermarket one day. And he said, "Oh, I heard you got divorced." And I said, "Yes, it was all my fault." It got back to my ex-husband. He said, "I can't believe you actually said that." I said, "Well, that was the truth. I wanted the divorce. And so what was I going to say? He left me for another woman? What was I going to do? Ruin your reputation? For what? I had grown in a different direction from him and I wanted a divorce. And he, however he thought of me during the divorce, and he was pretty angry. He did not want the divorce. But however he thought of me then, suddenly his aspect of who I was grew that much greater because I was honest with his friend and I was not telling any stories out of school. Now, if he had been the one who wanted a divorce, I probably would not have said anything.
Right.
I was not going to share
Should-
my personal information.
exactly.
And I think that either we act like ladies and gentlemen, or we are setting a standard for our children to see things that they need not see in our behavior.
Exactly. All right.
You just don't do it.
Okay. drgilda.com. Schedule a call Gilda today, and we'll talk soon. That was a special